Hi there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Eva Grace Algamsa and my YouTube channel is Mind Traveler Eva Grace, and I have a panel of both African and Indian students, and we are going to be discussing about African golden rules discussed in an Indian perception. So we are going to mention the African golden rules, like what we have like in our households or in our culture, and then we are going to hear how Indians respond to the same. So obviously they are going also to share their experiences or how their culture is actually is in their households. And the first one, first I would love to each one of them to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Das John. I'm from India.
My name is Athara Bharat and I'm also from India. My name is Yolanda Princess and I'm from Zimbabwe.
My name is Nisha, I am from India.
My name is Goana, I'm from India.
All right. So the first African golden rule is that in most of the African households we have our father's plates and our father's cups. So usually, like no one else is supposed to use those cups, whether they are present or they are absent. So like their plates, their cups are always in the cupboard, just used by our fathers. So I'm gonna start with Dolly.
Okay. Like, by our scenario in India, our parents save everything just to transfer it to other generations. So, like in your place, it is like you should not use your father's thing, but in our place, we use everything. Like our mother, their wedding jewelries, they save everything. They're old. From generation to generation, we pass it on and we use it.
So which means you can use your father's stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
everything.
can use each and everything what our father owns.
It's the things that passes on from generation to generation, from this
Even-
generation to that.
Yes. Even the jewelries, even the utensils which we use not to cook, each and everything you can use from generations to generations. Like it is a cultural thing in India that even your daughter or son has got married, you give whatever you have, like the parents, they give whatever they have in their, life, like whatever they have achieved. In the things which are present, they give each and everything to their young ones. And same,
They do feel proud in it also.
yes, because their whole life they have worked really hard for ourselves. So they just give each and everything to their, children and everything.
All right. So because I come from a different African country, I would love Yolanda also to explain, like how is it applied in Zimbabwe? Because I come from mainland, so I don't really know like other African. But I know like we just have that like our fathers are like, like the kings of the house. Like that is an African thing. But then I would love her to explain like in this on this topic of plate and cup.
Okay, when it comes to plates and cups, there is no specific plate or cup for that, because mostly we have similar plates, we buy similar plates, similar cups, so any plate you use at a specific moment is the one that you serve to your dad. Yes, we have other things, his personal things that we respect, his personal things that we do not touch, but when it comes to plates and cups, we don't have a specific plate.
Okay, so that means like it's applied in Africa, but in not all African countries or not all households, but it's there in Africa. Like there is a specific cup. Like for us, like that's just there. Like even I've seen it. Even some of my aunts, it's just there. So another thing is that meat. So like okay, sorry for I know like for Indians, it's mainly it's vegetarians, but for us like we are non-veg. And usually like when meat is being served, for example, let's take for chicken, there is a specific portion that has to go to your father, like drumstick, the gizzard, like that part is your father's portion, like it cannot be eaten by anyone else. So I think we want to discuss about this because it's not applicable. And then we are going to father slippers, like in our house we have our father slippers. They cannot be used by anyone else in the house. I don't know under whatever circumstance, whether your slippers are cut or anything happens, you cannot use your father's slippers. So this one we are going to hear first from Isha.
my family, it's very different. Like my father and my brother share the same shoe size. So those are worn by anyone. If I have a rush, I have to go upstairs, and if I can find my slippers, I wear my father's and go. There's nothing like that.
There's nothing. Uvana?
Nothing special in having your father's clothes, eight cups, slippers, nothing. We are almost our friends. We give the respect that what should be given to father. So the reminding all we are more than a friends. More than a friends. Friends will be in college, school and all, but father is whole life friend.
We can even wear their clothes also. We wear their clothes. We share plates also to eat.
We fight each other for if there is a special sweet or something is there in home. For the last bite we fight.
Yes.
Wow. Yolanda?
Well, in our culture, it's a taboo to put on your father's clothes, shoes, anything. What belongs to my father belongs. So I cannot wear his shoes, even if it's my little brother or my big brother. They cannot wear anything that belongs to my dad. So when it comes to his personal stuff, we are not allowed. It's a taboo, a very serious taboo.
Yeah, I can even actually like imagine where my father's slippers and shoes stay in my house, and you just pass and that's none of your business. So you just pass. So I would say like it's not like something like maybe a pressure to us or something that we feel bad about it. It's just cultural, and we have been raised from generation to generation. We have been raised to respect that, just to uphold that, and I wouldn't say like it would be the same in my family when that happens. I'm not very sure, but I would say like it's something like I would say like I'm proud of, which means like in our house, like like who is the head, and that continues, I think, to bring that respect. So I wouldn't say like it's something that we should say like, oh, we have to fight against or anything like that. There is nothing like that. Like we are, when you're already used to something and it's logical for us, like in an African culture, and we respect that very much. Yeah.
I would love to say one thing about this topic, that in ancient India, people used to do this. Like there was something like this in ancient India. Like you should never wear your father's slippers, or when your father is at home, you should be quiet and all this. It was, but if you go in villages right now, also if the father is very strict, there was something like this you want. At least in our Maharashtrian culture, it was something like this. Is that you can't wear your father's slippers. We are talking about slippers. Okay, so it was like that, but nowadays it's nothing like this. Like everything has been normalized nowadays. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you. And another thing we are going to be discussing is father's. So these are two different things. The first thing we are going to discuss father's sport seat, maybe in the living room or in the resting room. So usually, like for us, in the living room or like the dining table. So like the dining table and the living room, we are going to discuss them separately. But like in the living room, like there is a spot. So like it may happen that maybe when your father is not there, you can just sit. But it's like it's known like this is father's seat. So like usually like you won't sit there if your father is present. Maybe he may be taking a nap and all that. But if he is in the house at that moment, you're not gonna sit there because like any moment he comes, he's gonna come and sit to his spot. And like when he comes and then you have to stand up, like it doesn't really like sound very good in an African culture. So like usually that spot is your father's spot. I remember even like in terms of our aunt, also there is that spot like for her, because like you will sit everywhere else, but that's like this place belongs to our aunt. So like there are certain spots like we know for our aunt, for my mom, and then the rest of us can just sit anywhere else. But usually like your father, your mother's spot, they are just there. They are specific. You're not supposed to be sitting there unless they're not present at that moment of time. But if they are in the house, you're not gonna sit there. You're going to sit somewhere else. So
Not at all. As we all say, right? in our family, in Indian culture, it's not that disciplined. Like you have to behave very disciplined in front of parents. Yeah, we do respect our parents. Whatever they say, we do respect that. We listen to that. We do whatever they say to us. But it's not like that they are sitting here, we can't sit here. It's okay. We can sit, we can talk, we can convey whatever we want. It's not at all.
Is it applied?
Yes, it's applied for us because, well, as I said, in our culture, our father is more like a head, ne? Someone who is most respected. So we have that specific seat that is for the father. And we had a culture whereby before you turn 16, you do not sit on the sofa. You sit on the floor. The moment you turn 16, yeah, you can sit on the sofa. Whether your father is there or not there, you do not sit on his seat. There are seats that are meant for the mother and children.
Yes. So another thing that we can talk about is the dining table. So usually, like let's say an example of 6 spot means like 2, 2, 4, and then 6. So usually, like there is a special spot for your father. So that one, like you never use it. Like you never use it on the dining table. So that applies to Africa. So
No, that doesn't apply in India. You can sit wherever you want. You can have fun.
And basically from our culture by side, we sit like not on dining table.
We sit on floor and
Yeah, we sit on floor. That is basically not in our culture. We sit on floor, we eat by our hands.
really,
Yeah.
like even the like okay, I know you guys are educated. I feel is it the same?
And there's a scientific reason behind all this also. Like we, from the Ayurvedic side, we believe that eating by hands that gives more taste and it enhances the taste of food and also good for health.
And if you sit on the floor and bend and eat, it gives a little pressure in the abdomen area and improve the digestion.
So, from a culture basis, we sit on floor and eat, and there are no specifically that we can't sit with our father, can't. Everyone eats together. But in ancient times, our mother or the ladies of the family, they didn't use to eat food. Firstly, the men were allowed. And only if the man can eat, then the woman is allowed to eat. But now, as even understand the 21st century, everyone is evolving. Along with this, our Indian culture also evolved.
Does that mean like they serve first for the father and then like the boys in the house they eat and then they eat all?
It's not compulsory. Nowadays, everything is normal. But before, like around 20 years back or 25 years back, first husbands and all the men.
Only the men
Then
were
used to
firstly
have-
allowed to eat, and then
then
only the woman will eat.
Wow, I think that's very interesting. Anyway, and then okay, there are several others, but today I'm going to end with this one. Like time for coming back home. So usually, like you are allowed to be out like any time of the day, but like never come when your father is already at home. You know what that means? Means like you literally around maybe 7, you're supposed to be home. Because, for example, like if your father is coming back usually at 8, so if it is at 8 for you, you have to be home by 7. If your father comes at 7, you have to be home before that. Like, make sure like your father never like find you not there. Or maybe like we take it in a month like it's a taboo for you to be out, and then when you are back, then your father comes to open for you the door. Like it's something that is never. Like never acceptable in Africa. But then I can say like in the current century, in the 21st century, like some of those values are being are compromised by some families, but the majority, like you're supposed to be out at whatever time you want, but usually like your father should never go back home for you.
Honestly, I'm really shocked after hearing this that in Africa you guys are really strict with dad and family. Like right now I'm feeling like, is it so in Africa? No, in India there is nothing like this. But yeah, there are very much restrictions are there for women. Men are allowed to go anywhere they want to, but women are like you should be in this time, come before 9. you're not allowed to roam outside. It is like that, but right now, as I said, now everything is evolving.
Now it is everything is normal for everyone. Yeah, it's not about the gender. Everything is normal.
Kindly, we Indians are really shocked after hearing this.
Okay, so for us, like, it is still there. For example, in my family, that thing is still there. And because for me, like, my dad, like, is a very traditional man. Like, those traditional values and morals, like the African morals, they're all, like, being observed, like, in my family. So, and I think maybe, like, for us, sometimes, like, it depends, like, whether your father has studied, like, I don't know, his PhD and all that. There are some fathers who are still strictly observing the African culture and rules. But then there are some families that they don't really take it so hard on the children. They may compromise on some values, and then they are strict on certain values. So usually like that, or I don't know, the dating thing, like, is never in African culture. Like, you're not, unless, actually it's not supposed to be dating for us, it's supposed to be courtship to marriage. So like, there are so many things. Maybe we can discuss them in the next video if that happens.
For sure.
Yeah, so thank you guys. It was nice having you.
Nice to
Bye.
have you.
See you in the next one.